So, like everyone else, every other Canadian anyways, I'm wondering what the winter ahead holds. Like, what's the weather going to be like this coming winter? Now, according to the Farmer's Almanac across Canada, you can see BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, as well as the Northwest Territories and Nunavut, and the majority of Ontario, as well as the very northern part of Quebec, according to the Farmer's Almanac for winter 2017 to 2018, we're supposed to have a mild, dry winter. The Yukon is supposed to have a mild, snowy winter, as well as the majority of Quebec and eastern Ontario. So basically, it's saying in eastern Ontario, when I took a look at a more detailed map, it looked to be going east from, say, about Belleville over to the Quebec border, as well as the majority of Quebec. It looks, the Farmer's Almanac, in the very top tip of Labrador, is supposed to be a mild, snowy winter. And then for the eastern part of Quebec, as well as the majority of Labrador, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and pretty much all of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, you're supposed to have a mild, wet winter, according to the Farmer's Almanac. And I guess you're wondering, how accurate is the Farmer's Almanac? Well, according to the Farmer's Almanac, they claim that they're accurate about 80% of the time. How accurate was our forecast last winter? Our forecasts were 100% accurate in their predictions of the change in temperature and precipitation from the previous winter. Overall, our accuracy rate in the direction of departure from normal was 60% on temperature and 100% on precipitation. This 80% accuracy rate matches exactly our 80% historical accuracy rate. Our forecast of above normal snowfall in Atlantic Canada was correct, and we were also correct in predicting that snowfall would be above normal in most of Quebec. Our forecasts of above normal snowfall were incorrect for Ontario and the western prairies, but were correct for most of British Columbia. Elsewhere, our forecasts of below normal snowfall and precipitation were generally correct. As shown in the table below, using one representative city from each region, the average difference between our winter season temperature forecasts and the actual temperatures was 1.96 degrees Celsius, although it was only 1.22 degrees Celsius if we exclude Ontario. So I do remember that last winter, like, I live in London, Ontario, which is about 200 kilometers or 120 miles from Toronto. I remember for last winter that the Farmer's Almanac and Environment Canada and the Weather Network, they all make seasonal predictions, predicting what they think the season overall is going to be like. I do remember two of those three outlets predicting that we were supposed to have a colder than normal winter, but also a drier than normal winter, like less precipitation than normal. I remember for last winter, they were wrong about they were right about the snowfall. We had less snow than we normally do in the winter. But we had, our temperatures were a lot warmer than normal. I remember, for example, our average daytime high in January is about -2 in London, Ontario, and the nighttime low is at around -10, -11. That's the average nighttime low in January. I remember for the second half of January, it was above 0 degrees Celsius every single day. And it's a matter of fact, on most nights, the temperature stayed above 0 degrees Celsius even overnight. I remember in February, it was about the same pattern as well, too. Like, the second half of February was quite a bit warmer than normal. Like, temperatures were up in the teens quite hot for many of the days. I even remember one day in February where it went up to +18 degrees Celsius. I've lived in southern Ontario all my life, within 200 kilometers of Toronto. I've never seen the temperature go up to +18 degrees Celsius in February. And it was a beautiful day too. It was a beautiful stretch of weather. It wasn't like it was 18 and raining. It was sunny and beautiful out. People were out in t-shirts and shorts and flip-flops in February in London, Ontario. That's almost unheard of. So as I was saying, I got these seasonal predictions from the Old Farmer's Almanac of 2018. This video, by the way, is not sponsored by the Farmer's Almanac. So if there's any ads that run before, during, or after this video advertising the Farmer's Almanac, that's just strictly coincidence. That it's not being sponsored by them. So this summary, it's gives you a little bit more detail, a little bit more of a detailed breakdown, region by region across Canada. So in Atlantic Canada, the summary is basically saying winter will be rainier than normal, with slightly above normal temperatures and near to below normal snowfall. The coldest periods will be from late December into early January and in mid to late January, with the snowiest periods in late December and early and mid-February. Now for southern Quebec, it says winter will be snowier than normal, with above normal precipitation and near to above normal temperatures. The coldest periods will be from late December into early January, and late January into early February, and in mid-February, with the snowiest periods in mid-December, early and late February, and early April. So for southern Ontario, winter temperatures will be above normal, with the coldest periods in mid-November, early and late December, early January, and early and mid-February. Precipitation and snowfall will be above normal in the east and below normal in the west, with the snowiest periods in late November, mid and late December, and early to mid-March. In the southern in the prairies, winter temperatures will be milder than normal, with the coldest periods from late November into early December, in mid-December from late December into early January, and in early February. Precipitation and snowfall will be below normal, with the snowiest periods in mid to late November and mid-March. And that's for the prairies. For southern British Columbia, winter will be slightly warmer than normal, with below normal precipitation and snowfall. The coldest periods will be in early and late December, early and late January, and in mid-February, with the snowiest periods in early and late December. So those are the more detailed forecasts for the southern parts of Canada. And for northern Canada, that weather map that I showed you in the beginning of the video will show you how that's supposed to be shaping up. Anyways, don't forget to like. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And I guess the only way to know for sure what winter is going to be like is to wait and see. The less snow that we get here in southern Ontario, the happier I'll be, since I do drive for a living. It's nicer to drive on dry roads than it is to drive in snow and ice, but hey, if snow and ice is what's thrown at us, what can you do? All you can just do is adapt and drive according to the conditions. Well, let's see what happens this winter. Anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching.